Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 6 of the Circle of Experts, where we feature business owners, entrepreneurs, top CEOs, those who are willing to share deep secrets for business success and anything ranging from mindset to strategy and everything in between. And today it's my delight to bring to you our next guest, Tracey. Let me get your name right. Tracey Rampling Brown. Welcome.
Thank you so much, Melissa. It's so wonderful to be here.
The pleasure is all mine, Tracey. Thank you so much for accepting. Great. So let me start with those of you who have already subscribed to our channel. Thank you so much. Those of you who are new to the channel, feel free to subscribe so you can get the notification of our next video. I'm your host, Dr. Melissa Tranquille. And today it's all about Tracey. This guest, I'm really excited to speak with her because her story resonated with me so much. And I'll be getting into that and you will certainly understand why. But let me tell you a little more about Tracey quickly. She's a mindset and manifestation coach who empowers heart-centered women to take a leap of faith and start living their dream life now, instead of waiting for that mythical one day to finally arrive. So you have a little dry mouth. And in late 2018, Tracey and her family finally packed up and moved to sunny Australia, from sunny Australia to northern Italy, and started living their dream life. It may have taken 20 years to get there. It was a winding road filled with challenges, but guess what? The grit, the determination, the lessons learned along the way is what makes her the perfect person to help her clients turn their dreams into reality. And I want to talk about Tracey's magic. Her magic is in helping her clients reconnect with their divine feminine energy and start trusting their intuition so they can design an intentional vision for their future that's congruent with their core beliefs and values, helping them set soul-aligned goals that light them up inside and working together to clear the blocks holding them back so they can start manifesting the crap out of their dreams. Now, I love that last line and I'll be getting to that later. So, before I continue, Tracey, is Zoom working fine on your end? It seems to be slow on mine.
Yeah, it looks like it's fine on my end.
And you can hear me clearly?
I can. You clear as a bell.
Wonderful. Tracey, it's a pleasure. And you have such an amazing story. And before we dive into the deep end of things, I would love you to share with our viewers what finally led you to the path of entrepreneurship.
Oh, so the pathway to entrepreneurship, I think, was one of those ones. You know that story about the tortoise and the hare and how they both start the race, and like the hare thinks, oh, I'm just going to run ahead. I've got so much time. I'll have a nap under the tree and I'll still win because the tortoise is just so slow. Well, actually, I kind of feel like I'm the tortoise, just slowly have been plodding away. My journey to entrepreneurship has been one of those ones where I did all of those things that typically young girls and young mums do. I tried network marketing. I did all of those things when my kids were little. So always that desire to kind of work for myself and have the freedom and flexibility. And really that's what it came down to. So my path to entrepreneurship was really wanting to be able to be a full-time mom for my kids and still have that amazing full-time income, and without having to put my kids in daycare or spend all of my time working and none of my time with my family.
Wow, that's beautiful. And that totally resonates with me, having kids myself. And I know what it feels like when they have an important event and you have to say no because you have no choice. You have a boss to answer to. It's really heart-wrenching.
Yeah, it broke my heart. I went back into the workforce when my daughter started full-time school when she was 5, and suddenly went from being at every assembly, every dance recital, everything, to actually being that mum that missed everything because it was on my work day, and having my girlfriends send me photos during my work day because my kid got a merit certificate that I didn't even know about. Right. And I wasn't there. And, it's the kind of, it just breaks my heart. And, I knew then that I just didn't want to live like that for the rest of forever. I couldn't be that mom. I just couldn't do it.
That's wonderful. And it's this desire that really, pushes you to help you to remain committed to that dream. So tell me, Tracey, the struggle to balance it all is most likely a sentiment that is shared by many of our viewers, including myself. So tell us your secret sauce to overcome or deal with this struggle to balance it all, because you work from home and you have the kids. How do you balance it all?
Okay, so It's definitely, especially as a mama, it's really hard to balance it all. The thing that I've found that works the best for me and for my clients, I guess, my secret sauce, so to speak, is firstly and foremostly to constantly and regularly check in with yourself. So one of the activities, which I'm sure you've seen before, it's very common, is called the Wheel of Life, or I call it the Circle of Life. And looking in at each of those different areas of your life to see which areas are in balance and which are out of balance, because that usually gives you a huge indication of what you need to focus on. So secondary to that, so leading on from that, is also being super 100% crystal clear on what your vision for the future is and what it is that you want for your life, your work, your family, and all of that. If you aren't clear on what it is that you want, it's hard to find balance because you don't actually know where to focus your attention and your energy. And then to beat that overwhelm, it just comes back to going from that big picture back into what is my next step? Like, what is the next thing that I need to do right now? And cutting out all of the rest of the noise, because sometimes when we see the big picture or we look at the details, we just think, oh my God, I've got so much to do and I'm so far away from achieving all of the things. And we can't do all the things all at the same time. So it comes down to, what is that one thing I can do right now? What can I do today?
That's right. That's right. And what you say, it's absolutely important with constantly and regularly checking in with yourself. And the more that you do that, it develops your sense of awareness that eventually you know when you need to stop, pause, and take that break.
Yeah, and that's what comes into that reconnecting with our divine feminine energy and our intuition, because that emotion, that intuition is such a so important, and we've spent so long, the work and business paradigm and the way that we live has been so masculine energy focused on KPIs and targets and facts and figures and analysis and logic, and that's great, but what it does is we stop trusting our gut feeling to know when things aren't right or when things are out of balance. We ignore those feelings and then we end up burnt out, or we end up overwhelmed, or we end up in a situation where we just don't know where to go or what to do, and we feel like we're at that breaking point. So really getting back in touch with that awareness, as you say, like knowing how you're feeling and being able to respond to that is so important.
Yes, yes. Everything you've said there resonates with me so much, Tracy. And me being a mom with 4 kids, also working from home, one thing I've found that works for me as well is the morning routine. And there are days, it does happen that there are times I'm so tired, and I've learned, like you said, to check in with yourself. I've learned to listen to my body, and I've learned when fatigue comes on, go rest, because I used to be the kind of person who would stay up until 1, 2 working, and I've stopped all that because with burnout, reaching that point of burnout is a terrible place to be. So I've learned to check in with my body and take the rest. But there are occasions when I'm tired and I didn't get into my morning routine, which is the exercise and the prayers and meditation. And by 2 days of not doing that, I'm in an awful mood. And I can't explain it, but it really works for me.
Yeah, that morning routine, I know exactly what you're saying. When we first went into lockdown back in March, and the kids weren't at school, so there was no reason to have the alarm set in the morning, they weren't, because my kids had to get up quite early because it took them an hour to get into the city where their school is.
Right.
So I didn't have to get up at 5:30 in the morning anymore. I could sleep in if I wanted to, or, sleep in, relatively speaking. But after 2 weeks or so, I felt really yucky. It felt like the days were turning into this amorphous blob. And I know that a lot of people have been kind of struggling with that, where it's like a big black hole of lockdown. So I started setting my alarm again. Well, not for 5:30 in the morning. I set it for 7:30. But every single day, including Saturdays and Sundays, I was getting up at 7:30. Not because anyone else in the house was up, but because that's what I needed to do so that I could just stay focused and keep moving and do the things. And honestly, I think it was one of the best things I did during lockdown was have that alarm set and have that morning routine, that regular wake up time, because it stopped me from I guess, spiraling into that nothingness.
Yes, 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 definitely. Totally agree with you. So let's talk a little about some of the common struggles that your clients come to you with, and how do you go about getting them to turn those dreams into a reality?
Okay, so there are probably two main things that people end up coming to me for. And the first one is usually like that lack of focus, that lack of clarity, that lack of direction, because they don't really know what it is that they actually want. It's something, particularly if you're a multi-potentialite or multi-passionate person, where you feel like you're facing a buffet. Like there are so many options and you just, like you want to do them all,
Mm-hmm.
but you're paralyzed by that fear of missing out, that FOMO, that if I commit to doing this, then I'm like missing out on all of those other things. And
Mm-hmm.
so they end up in that action paralysis where
Mm-hmm.
they don't do anything because
Mm-hmm.
they can't make a decision and they just don't know where to go. So that particular issue, it comes back to, we get clear on what it is that they want their life to look like, not just right now, but at the end of their life, when they look back, what is it that they want to be able to say
That's
that they've
right.
achieved? What is it that is important to them? What are their values? What are their beliefs about what their family should look like, what their working week should look like? I mean, if
Mm-hmm.
you want to be working 10 hours a week and sitting on a beach in Ibiza, you are not going to want to be doing something that's going to require you to work 80 hours a week,
Mm-hmm.
because there's going to be that discrepancy between
That's
what
right.
you want and what your life actually looks like, and you
That's
won't
right.
ever find that clarity or that balance. And the second issue is that lack of self-belief that you'll actually ever achieve that thing. So even
Mm-hmm.
if you know what your dream is, even if you think, I would love my life to look like this is what I want to do, this is the direction that I want to go, there's always that little voice that says, yeah, but you'll never really do it.
Hmm.
And so working on the mindset and really helping my clients to catch those thoughts and those beliefs and
Mm-hmm.
those negative self-doubts that come up, that little voice whispering in your ear, and transforming those negative thoughts, catching them and saying, no, that's not true. And then replacing it with a more positive, empowering statement that supports the vision that you want to achieve and the goals that you want to set. And over time, it's not like a magic wand. It's not like say it once and boom, it
Exactly, yes.
happens. It's that constant
Mm-hmm.
reinforcement and replacing those beliefs in your subconscious, because they say what you say, you become. Like what you
That's
say is
right.
what you are. What you tell yourself every day is who you are. And if you're
Mm-hmm.
saying, I'm no good at this, I can't do this, I'll never succeed, I'll never be able to run my business, then that
Mm-hmm.
is what you will get. And
That's
you
right.
need to catch that and say, that's not true. I'm trying my best. I am learning new things every
Mm-hmm.
day, and really reframe and shift those thoughts and beliefs. So yeah, so that's the second issue. Obviously, all my clients will have different
Of
other issues
course.
along the way, but yeah,
Yes,
mostly
one.
lack of focus and clarity, and
Mm-hmm.
lack of self-belief.
Wow, that's powerful. And I do believe that that is common indeed. Every entrepreneur that I've spoken to, Tracy, all talk about that mindset aspect. And it's really amazing. It's interesting that we can't get ahead in our business. We can't get ahead with any life goal with a poor mindset. Even for myself, it may sound strange, but I didn't start to generate any revenue in my business until I looked at my mindset, because those limiting beliefs were holding me back. And you're right,
Yeah,
you are what you think. If you have this dream and you believe it's impossible, you may say with your mouth sometimes, you may tell others, this is what I want to achieve, but your heart and your mind, you believe something else. You let that inner critic step in, and the two don't align. And that
yeah,
misalignment, and unfortunately, most times we believe the inner critic in our head, and it causes us to fail to reach that goal. But when I was able to start to catch myself, like you say, catch those thoughts and work on reframing those beliefs, then everything seemed possible. And like doors open, like the law of attraction, we hear so much about the law of attraction, and it does work. It takes time, but it does work, because it all has to do a lot also with your mindset and everything being aligned.
Yeah, exactly. And you kind of get to that point, as you said, like you were just talking about with manifestation. And that's why, like that's why I call myself a mindset and manifestation coach, because once you work on the mindset, the manifestation does start to fall into place. And you
Yes.
get to a point where you literally, like I said, are like manifesting the crap out of things. Like it's like you think of something and then you'll get an email about that exact thing, or you'll think about a friend that you've been meaning to contact, and they'll message you, and it's like, how did that happen? But it's because your energy is vibrating on a different level, and you are attracting the things instead of repelling them. And when we are working on those negative self-doubts and self-beliefs, they say what you focus on, like where focus goes, energy flows.
Yes.
And so law of attraction, what you put out there is what you get back. So if you're putting out their doubt, if you're putting out their fear, if you're putting out their lack of belief, you're going to get all of that back. And so if you're focusing on what the worst that could happen is instead of what the best that could happen is, if you're focusing on what could go wrong instead of what could go right, that's what the universe is going to send you, because that's what you've asked for, even if you don't realize that you have. So, it's something where it's amazing. Manifestation is amazing. And I can't even tell you how many times recently I have, in fact, I think I've posted about it on Instagram a couple of times. My manifesting game is on point right now, just opportunities that have come up where I'm like, oh my God, like this is for me. And I've known it. I've seen an ad about something that I've been wanting for ages. I'm like, this is for me. This is 100% for me. And it turns out that it is, I'm just going to go with a little side story here. I entered a competition to win some Moonology cards by famous astrologer Yasmin Boland.
Right.
And she had this grand prize and 10 runner-up prizes where you won her book and you won these oracle cards. And as soon as I saw it, I've been wanting those oracle cards for ages. And I was like, that's for me. So I entered the competition, and part of manifestation is doing the things. You've actually got to take the action.
Right.
So I did everything, it was like you get extra entries in the drawer if you tell other people about it, put it on your social. Well, I put it everywhere, Not only did I win the deck and the book, I won the grand prize. Like I won the top prize, which included like a personalized, personal astrological destiny reading with Yasmin Boland. And she apparently hasn't done a one-on-one reading in years.
Wow.
So it is like the most amazing prize to win.
Wow.
And I just knew, I knew before I entered that this was for me. There was something that just told me this opportunity is here for you. And I had to choose to take it, you've got to take action and be like, yes, this is for me. So
that's amazing. And what you say there is so important about taking that inspired action. It won't, nothing will happen, nothing will manifest unless you do take that inspired action. And in all of the instances, it's something that we have to do daily, consistently and daily. It's not an on-off thing that you can do and it works for you.
No, it's like they say an apple a day keeps the doctor away.
Right.
You can't just eat 7 apples on Sunday and think, oh, well, I ate my 7 apples this week, so it's going to be good, right? It doesn't work like that. It has to be that consistent rhythm of daily action to actually do it.
Absolutely. Now you mentioned something which I also read in your profile that I love so much. You said that you and I love how you say manifesting the crap out of your dreams. So do you have a ritual, or do you have a strategy or something that you use, anything that you wish to share with our viewers that help your clients to manifest the crap out of their dreams?
So probably one of the most powerful kind of rituals that I do with my clients, and it's something I do in my free challenge, which is coming up, which I'll talk about a little bit later, is what I like to call the forgiveness ritual. And it sounds really simple, and it sounds really kind of like, oh, that's not such a big deal. But all of my coaching clients, because I did a bit of a survey with them recently, and I was like, tell me which of the activities that we've done has been the most pivotal for you in terms of helping you have those aha moments or those massive transformational shifts. And every single one of them was like the forgiveness ritual. And really what it comes down to is writing out a letter to yourself, you know, like, dear Tracey, and really doing it stream of consciousness style. In the beginning, it's going to feel a bit awkward and a bit stilted, but just stick with it because it starts to flow. And writing, you know, for example, you know, I forgive myself for not getting up every morning, you know, and not doing my morning routine, or I forgive myself for feeling like a failure. I forgive my husband for always leaving the toilet seat up. I forgive my kids for never being happy with any of the meals I prepare for them. I forgive myself for yelling at the kids because they've annoyed the crap out of me today, or like all of those things, because it's not, and it's about forgiving at a soul level. So that's when you're forgiving someone else, and it might not even be things as simple as leaving the toilet seat up or the kids not eating things. It might be the deep shadow work, like the traumatic things. If you've got something with a relationship with a person, a parent, a friend, a business partner, a, you know, romantic relationship, whatever, that has really left some deep scars, this can be really powerful in terms of forgiveness. And it's not about sending it to them and actually saying, Melissa, I forgive you for that time when you stole my texters in the 3rd grade. It's about you letting go of the emotional baggage that you're carrying, because if you're holding on to it, you are allowing it to fester, and you're allowing it to be part of your victim story, like all of the bad things that have happened to you. One of the reasons that this ritual is so powerful is because when you start that stream of consciousness writing, things come up for you that you might not have even thought about in years, that you might not have realized you've been holding on to. And what ends up happening is, because you can do this activity more than once, right? You can do it anytime you kind of feel like something's coming up for you. In fact, doing it at things like the new moon, or when you're setting your intentions, or the full moon when you're letting go of things, or if you are doing your New Year's resolutions or things like that, it's a really great time to do these things. But the thing is to write it all down, because you'll find that the next time you do it, some of these things won't come up again. Like you'll just never really think about them, because you've actually let them go, and you've cut that energetic cord that is holding you and anchoring you to this thing that's weighing you down. And so after you've written this letter, because of course it's not really much of a ritual if you just write a letter. So after you write the letter, what's really important is to then be able to let it go. Now, my favorite way to do it is to go outside somewhere safe. And you can do it inside too, in your kitchen sink or your bathroom sink or the laundry or something, and actually like burn the letter. And it's really great if you can do it outdoors, because it's got that earthiness to it, that kind of elemental, you know, the ashes floating away in the wind. You've got the feeling of the fire, and I want you to feel the heat of the flames, like feel that energy transferring and transmuting those things. Feel the, you know, the wind, you know, in your hair, on your face. Feel the grass beneath your feet, you know, whatever it is where you are, you know, the tears streaming down your face as you energetically let it go, or whatever it is, the smell of the ash, you know, the taste of it in your mouth, all of those things. And as you let it go, just really imagining that all of that energy, all of those words, all of the emotions is being released back into the universe, that you are no longer holding on to that or carrying the weight of any of those things anymore. And then after you've done that, switching your mindset again, like out of that mode, and doing like a really nice guided meditation if you're into that kind of thing, or going for a walk out in nature, or putting on your favorite song and having a dance party, or whatever it is that helps you feel good and let it go, so that you've done the forgiveness and now you're reinforcing those positive emotions that come with it afterwards.
Yes.
So if you don't want to do fire though, it's also really effective. And one of my coaching girls recently didn't have access to fire, but she'd had a situation where she really needed to do the thing, but she was near a river, and so she tore it into little pieces and scattered it into the water. And the same kind of thing, releasing it into that elemental kind of naturey thing, you know, just letting it go. You could bury it in the earth, you could, you know, whatever it is, scatter it like confetti to the wind. But it's more the act of letting it go and releasing that energy.
Yes, yes,
so,
I love that.
There you go. That's my major suggestion for anybody who feels like they're blocking themselves from manifesting the crap out of their dreams, is to forgive and let it go.
That is so beautiful. And many of us fail to realize, unless or until we embark on that journey, that sometimes we're holding on to so much. And when you actually start, you know, to like make a note of those things you need to forgive persons for, Tracey, I'm sure people are surprised about the amount of stuff that starts to resurface that they had inside of them holding on to, you know, for so many years or for so long. And it's really beautiful. And when you burn it, that act of letting go, you let go of all that negative energy, you let go of all that negative stuff, and you make room for the manifestation.
Exactly. It's about making room, you know, giving yourself the space and the grace to let the, you know, to let the beauty, to let the gratitude come in, to make room to manifest and bring in that new energy that you want. You know, if you're already full, but you're full of the wrong things, then you just don't have room to let, you know, to have the new good, amazing things come in. So you've got to, it's like destashing. It's like Marie Kondoing your emotions.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I just have a message saying my speaker is not working from Zoom. You can't hear me clearly, yes?
Yes, I can hear you just fine.
Okay. I hope everything goes fine. It's saying my speaker is, suddenly Zoom is saying my speaker is not working properly. Well, then we'll move on to the next question. If I were to ask you to leave us with your top millionaire advice for success, for business success, what would that be?
Okay, so I'm still working on that first million. Let me be upfront and honest with you like that. I'm not going to pretend I'm on like some amazing 7-figure income right now.
Yes.
But my top advice for making sure that you get there, and this is where I'm at right now, is to keep moving forward.
That's right.
No matter what happens. Failure is not an end point. Don't give up when you don't succeed. It is just another step towards your journey to success. And I heard this amazing quote recently where somebody asked Thomas Edison, how did it feel to fail 1,000 times before he succeeded in creating the light bulb, right? How did it feel to fail 1,000 times? And he was like, I didn't fail 1,000 times. I invented a light bulb that had 1,000 steps. So it's, yeah, that millionaire advice is keep moving forward. Every small step that you take is going to get you there. So again, the tortoise and the hare, it might be slow and steady, but as long as you don't just stop and give up, you will get there eventually. You just need the self-belief that you can do it. And you need to keep moving. It's okay to pause sometimes. It's okay to give yourself grace and space.
That's
but don't
right.
stop. Don't ever stop. Just keep going.
That's right. I just want to say to all viewers, I mean, Tracey has shared so much stuff for us in this 30-minute interview. I'm sure if you have pen to paper that you've made lots of notes. And the stuff that she shared can definitely help you in your journey. You know, and like she said, I'll just reiterate, just keep moving forward. Whatever goal you're working towards, whether it's in your business, whether it's in a different aspect of your life, just keep moving forward and you will definitely reach that point. Yeah. Wonderful, Tracey. So now it's your moment to promote. I think you have a challenge coming up. So feel free to tell us more about that challenge and where people can sign up, and just so that you would know I will also be posting the link below this video. So to our viewers, if you're interested in Tracey's challenge, you can find the link to sign up as well below this video.
Okay, so I do have a free 5-day challenge coming up on the 12th of October. So it's in about 4 weeks from now. And what we will be doing is we will be helping you to get clear on what your vision for the future is, identifying how that fits in with your core values and beliefs, and then working out what your next step is, like 2 or 3 of those soul-aligned goals that are congruent with what you want, so that you can start taking actions straight away to help you get towards where you need to go. So if you are feeling overwhelmed, if you are feeling confused, if you are feeling like you're at that crossroads in life and you are, you know, in need of a change of direction, but you just don't know where that you want to go, this is going to be a really amazing opportunity for you to uncover some of those things that you've always wanted to do with your life, but maybe you have put them aside because you're living the mum life and you have been suppressing all of the things that you've wanted, or maybe you just never thought it was really possible. So it's like, oh, you know, I'd always love to do this, but oh yeah, I'm never going to be able to do that. So you're going to really uncover some of these things that maybe you've even forgotten about, and really get back in touch with who you are and what it is that you want for your life. And so if you think that that would be something you would benefit from, you can find the details and sign up for that at www.vibrantcoach.com/challenge. So that starts Monday, October 12th. If you feel like you can't wait that long and you need a little bit of help right now, I do offer a 1-hour 2020 Vision Power Hour session. And that session is basically kind of like covers in a nutshell not quite all of what we do in the challenge, because it doesn't do things like the forgiveness ritual, because it's a bit hard to do that in an hour, but it will focus on helping you to create that vision or start to build that vision and set those goals so that you can walk away with a plan. And that is only €99 to do that as a one-off, you know, one-to-one, where I will help you directly to work out what it is that you want. So to find the details for that, you can also go to my website, www.vibrantcoach.com, or you can direct message me through any of my social links, which Melissa will have for you. If you prefer Instagram, Facebook, or LinkedIn, you can DM me and find out how to book one of those sessions as well.
So wonderful. So yes, if you'd like to know more about Tracey, you can head over to her website. She's also on LinkedIn, Instagram, and Facebook, and you can find those links below this video. So Tracey, any last words that you would like to share with our viewers?
I really just would love to inspire you to reconnect with what it is that you want to do. And now is the perfect time. We've just entered Q4. We have got 3.5 more months left of 2020. And despite what may or may not have happened for you so far this year, it is never too late to get your vision ready for the beginning of next year as well. But you know, we're at the beginning of the new quarter, so start now. Take action now. You know, find one tip that we've talked about today that resonates for you and do that one thing.
That's right. That's excellent advice. Find one thing, just one thing, and you start to take daily inspired action, and you will see those results. That's excellent advice. So thank you so much, Tracey, for agreeing to this interview, and thank you for sharing your heart and your soul in this way.
That's okay. Thank you so much again for having me, Melissa. And thank you to all of you who are watching Melissa's amazing program. It has been such a joy and a pleasure to be here with you guys, sharing my story and the method to my madness.
And continue to manifest the crap out of their dreams.
Absolutely. And if you do, tell me about it. Send me a message. If you do something that you've learned today and it works for you, I want to hear about it.
Yes.
Like, honestly, all of it. Tell me all of it.
I agree. Thank you so much. Bye now.
Bye.